So we have our lampshade geometry. So the first thing we need to do is create a V-ray sphere light. All right. So we're gonna drag and drop here in the middle. All right. And I'm gonna name this first as a light in. All right. So it's gonna be our internal light for this geometry. So the next thing I'm gonna do is put 5 centimeters watts, and I'm gonna put 35 watts, right? So the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna give a little bit more warmness to it, right? So it's, you know, something roughly, right? So I'm gonna move this in the middle of my lampshade geometry, somewhere there, okay? And the next thing I'm gonna do is basically include my lampshade, right? So include both, pick your lampshade geometry, which is that one, for example. Obviously, you're gonna have a different name, lampshade, and press OK, all right? So this light is only gonna be affecting this lampshade geometry, which is this. Okay, so if I'm gonna go to my camera view, I'm gonna press render. So this is what I'm getting now. So that light is only working on my lampshade geometry, all right? So obviously now if you want to you know, have a proper light bleeding to your interior or onto your wall or whatever, right? What you need to do now is basically, I'm just gonna stop this interactive rendering, and I'm gonna select my light. Okay, I'm gonna select my light, and I'm gonna make this as a clone. So I'm gonna clone it as a copy, and I'm gonna name it light out. Okay, so it's gonna be our light, but it's gonna be working more for external bits, right? So the next thing we're gonna do is basically, I'm just gonna increase this to 7 centimeters of radius. So we're gonna, you know, it's gonna be for us a bit easier to select, right? Obviously you can always create selection sets, right? So for example, LS out, and I'm gonna select the other one, and I'm gonna call it LS in, all right, just in case. So I'm just gonna click LS out, and for this one what we need to do is basically exclude the lamp shade geometry, right? So we're excluding it. So basically this light is gonna ignore this lampshade geometry, and it's gonna cast light onto our lamp walls, and also on the table, on walls and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna press OK, and I'm gonna press IPR rendering again. All right, and one thing we need to do here is check this as invisible. Okay, so it's gonna be it's gonna be invisible. Don't forget to leave this as unchecked, because if you're gonna check this, it's gonna basically block this light, because this smaller light is inside of that light. So don't forget to don't forget to leave this by default, all right? So basically non-occlude other lights, okay? So we have, as you can see, if I'm gonna click this off, as you can see, at the moment we have no light whatsoever on our external walls of this lamp. So if I'm gonna click on, now you can see that we have, right? So for example, if I'm gonna select my HDRI and press off, and if I'm gonna select my out light and press off, you can see that this lampshade geometry is only illuminating. Well, it's not really illuminating. It's basically because this material has some reflection, glossy, some matte reflections. It kind of picks those matte reflections from this lamp shade geometry, right? Because the lamp shade geometry is kind of illuminating a little bit of light from that internal light, right? So if I'm gonna press on for the outer light, you can see now that I have the full control of not overexposing my lampshade geometry, right? So I'm not bumping up the central right, the inner light, but I'm bumping up the outer light, right? Which is basically, you're kind of faking it, but at the same time your renders are gonna be a lot faster and a lot less noiser, right? So you're gonna get a lot more less noise and it's gonna render faster. So this is how you should approach all of your lampshades, which has some kind of an enclosement, right? So from the tops, from the sides, and from the bottom, right? So for example, this is gonna be like a sphere, right? If you would have like a cylindrical shape table light, you don't need to do this, all right? Because you have a gap in above and you have a gap on the bottom, right? So you don't need to do this kind of trick, okay? So this is what you're getting now. So I'm just gonna basically put HDRI on. So, and obviously this is really important because like I said, like I mentioned before, a lot of people are creating this without the external light, and they're always trying to bump this light to, you know, skyrocketing numbers. So, and they're thinking that they're gonna get, you know, some illumination on the external bit, and they're gonna get, as you can see, it's kind of horrible, it's noisy, and it cleans really slowly. And obviously your lampshade geometry is overexposed, so it's gonna look quite unprofessional and quite bad, all right? So don't forget to create the internal light, include only your shade, and then clone that light and exclude that same shade, all right? And control the intensity from there. So for example, for him, I'm gonna go 35. And for the out, I'm gonna leave it at 35. I can increase that if I want to, whatever you want to apply. I can even change the color to a bit more warmish color, etc, etc, etc. So this is how you create a light inside of a geometry enclosement, right? So hope this helps. I hope that this video it wasn't so long, and I'm gonna try to create shorter videos from now on, but obviously I like to always explain as much as possible, right guys? So thank you very much for watching, and see you in my next video, guys.